Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to game number 2 here of this epic quarterfinal between two very talented players, including one of the local Italian heroes. But first we have, spawning as the Blue Zerg player in the bottom left-hand corner, representing the site TeamLiquid.net, a world-famous streamer and really avant-garde strategist. Let's see if he can pull something out of his hat here in game number 2. It is LiquidTLO. And his opponent, spawning in the top right position as the Yellow Terran, known as the Italian Stallion. Let's see if he can pull one off for the home crowd here at the Vasacast Invitational. It is aTnClouD. And I appear to have people in chat discussing whether or not I am a rocket scientist. It's kind of debatable. By trade, I'm an aerospace materials engineer, and I used to work for a Formula 1 team a very long time ago. I don't know if that qualifies me as a rocket scientist, because the stuff I worked on very much kept stuff firmly on the ground on 4 wheels. But hey, I'll take what comes. Yeah, life's taken me through some very interesting twists and turns, and hey, now I'm a StarCraft caster, so awesome times ahead. And we have a drone here just going to be quickly scouting for any probes behind the mineral line here from TLO, in case there's any sort of cheeky cannon shenanigan popping up. But any sort of proxy barracks shenanigan popping up. Wow, I'm so used to drones checking behind for probes that I almost forgot the Cloud was Terran for a second. Herp de derp. It's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen, but the games are not over yet. So we have got a command center going down first here for Cloud. That's, of course, going to be followed up by the barracks. No gas as of yet. He's going to want to get barracks 1 through 3 up as reasonably quickly as possible. Got the spawning pool now going down for LiquidTLO. And we do have the first gas, by the looks of things, coming out somewhat earlier for Cloud. So he will be looking to grab a factory and probably pump out some reactor Hellions. Let's see what he ends up choosing to do here. Spawning pool now almost complete for TLO here on Daybreak. He's currently a game down, remember, so whatever he does now, it either has to be incredibly effective and surprise the heck out of his opponent, or really solid so that he can outplay him in a longer macro game. Let's see what sort of strategy he ends up choosing. We actually have the Overlord moving out now as the barracks finishes, and hopefully he'll be able to get over some high ground right here before the first Marine can actually do too much damage to it. A second Overlord going to be going into position from the left-hand side. And we have 80 gas right now as the bunker goes down in a little bit of a sweet spot location there, so that it's very difficult to get us around. Does leave this side of the mineral line slightly exposed, but does also cover the ramp and some of the natural, so it's a really nice compromise position for it to go down in. And there we go. As soon as we had 100 gas, we immediately put down the factory. Will we see a reactor on this barracks after this Marine pops out? It's looking likely, and yes, it lifts up, so we should be seeing a reactor down here to facilitate those Hellions in just a minute. There we go. And it is definitely not a good day being a neutral supply depot. Obviously, the Marines are sufficiently scared of the explosions we saw earlier this evening with the neutral supply depots that they actually have to get into a bunker before attacking it. So, taking all the necessary health and safety precautions and signing the appropriate forms here on Daybreak, but that SCV better watch out and put his hard hat on. In the meantime, a lot of decent Overlord scouting actually coming out here from LiquidTLO so far. He's going to start getting his creep spread out as well. 3 Queens out at the front. So he's going to... And 4 and 5 on the way. So he's going to be fairly well protected. That's going to also come in useful if we see any Banshee follow-up out of Cloud. And we do actually see a Tech Lab coming down on this barracks and then a Starport popping out. Remember, guys, this is Wings of Liberty. No interesting Widow Mine shenanigans popping out here. We are instead going to be seeing some good old-fashioned Hellion harass, followed up by a little bit of Banshee action. So let's see if that is able to do any damage to TLO, who has just taken his 3rd base. He's also gone ahead and grabbed his 3rd and 4th gases at his natural expansion. So he is in a position where he can be teching up reasonably shortly. I love that he's sparing 1 creep Schumer to immediately spread creep between the natural and the 3rd base. That's always a good decision. Not waiting for the creep to completely spread all the way out, was just putting those tumors down as fast as he can, which I like a lot. And it looks like Cloud is taking the opportunity to grab his third base as well. So both sides just macroing up really, really hard at the moment. Notice there's only a single Hellion going in to the third base location of TLO. He's not trying to kill off a lot of drones. He's only trying to see exactly what the situation is on the ground, not even taking any damage from that queen there. His main objective right now is to protect his own third against any sort of incoming Zerglings that might decide to sneak by. The Banshee, on the other hand, may attempt to go forth and see if he can't do a decent amount of damage. Sorry. However, at least 2 Overlords will be spotting this Banshee before it gets in. Yep, that one spotted as well. And here we go into the main base. We have an Overlord being attacked. That is actually going to go down. And we also have a Banshee, her best to pick apart those drones. 2 kills at the moment before she has to get out of dodge. And with that warning, we do have a Spore Crawler going down at the main, and I believe one at the natural, but not at the third, as it currently stands. So maybe the third could be open for a little bit of harassment later. We'll see. TLO doing a great job with his creep spread as well, getting out towards the first watchtower before the 10-minute mark, and he could actually spread his creep roundabout to the middle of the map by the time the 10-minute mark actually comes round. Really nice stuff from our Zerg player. And it looks like we're going to be going into a bio-heavy composition here. So we have the 1 tech lab, 2 reactors on those first 3 barracks, looking pretty standard here. We've also swapped for a tech lab on the factory so we can get some siege tanks out ASAP. And we're going for a double engineering bay and an armory from Cloud, playing a very, very solid style. He hasn't got that much in terms of army at the moment. 30 supply is still larger than his opponent, but it's not like crazy mega huge, because he wants to get all of the upgrades and he wants to make sure that his army is unbelievably strong before deciding to push out. So he has 4th and 5th barracks right now. He might be able to facilitate a drop a little bit. Oh, and we have a Raven popping down here, so that could prove to be a lot of fun. He might be able to put down an auto turret or something similar. He is actually running around the map, and this is really cool for destroying creep as well, if you know your opponent has really nice creep spread, because you don't need to scan anymore. You just need to walk ahead with the Raven and just constantly take out tumors. It forces the Zerg to send units to where you currently are. And thanks to the Banshee, we do see that Overlord going down to that pack of Marines thanks to the vision it has provided. In the meantime, it looks like this Banshee... Wow, the Banshee-Hellion combo. You set him up, I knock him down. These guys are having fun as a tag team there as 3 Zerglings get absolutely roasted. A 4th base getting taken by LiquidTLO in the top left as well. And we also have an infestation pit going down. That's actually a Spore Crawler, which means the infestation pit, there we go, in the natural expansion right there. 5th and 6th gas is now being taken by Cloud. He's also building an additional factory, so he'll be able to get siege tanks out 2 at a time. A lot of reactors going down on these barracks, so a very, very heavy marine tank composition incoming, and +1 weapon upgrades has started, as well as 2-2 for the bio. A couple more barracks going to be popping down so that he can replenish very, very quickly indeed. And in the meantime, guys, look at this creep spread from TLO. He sees everything in half of the map. We are very slowly getting legit map hack over here as TLO completely dominating all 3 areas of the map right now. Check out this lower, central, and upper region. If you like, you could argue the upper region isn't quite as well spread, but you know what? This is actually insane. There is almost nothing TLO doesn't see right now, and that sensor tower is only really going to help when the units get so close to his 4th base that it's not really going to matter that much. I think Cloud really will have to push that creep back at some point. Banshee coming into the 4th base and going, what the heck? That's a lot of creep already out here. He's just going to be checking out to see if it's there, and indeed it is. Ooh, might be able to get off a couple of banelings here, but first we're going to try and pick apart those drones. A couple going down there. Spore Crawlers being built right now. Only a single Spore Crawler, now 2, and a decent number of kills being attributed to this Banshee right now. 8 kills and counting. That's going to be slightly frustrating for TLO, but he's currently up to 92 drones versus the 74 of Cloud, so TLO's not going to be too concerned. We have got Cloud now moving out with his Raven as well. That's going to be very annoying for TLO after spreading his creep oh so well for it to be taken down even with no scans available, which is really nice. He can afford to continue to use his scans for mules and just let the Raven do the talking, which is going to be very important against a player with such great creep spread. In the meantime, though, the Ultralisk Cavern has just started. 4 Infestors are on the way, and 32 Lings have just been produced by TLO, so he is reacting to this aggression from Cloud. Cloud is on creep, basically, as soon as he crosses the halfway line of the map right now, so there is nothing he can do to try and... Oh, and here we go. 4 auto turrets going up to take down this Overlord. Possibly a little bit overkill, but he also wants, of course, to cement this position against any sort of incoming attacks. There are Banelings from TLO as well. We have a small squad going into the 4th base location. 1 Baneling does actually get hit, and we're going to see counterattack towards a natural expansion of a couple of Lings. That's not going to do very much, but this follow-up push might... He's going to be going into the natural, picking off a couple of reserve tanks. It looks like he will be able to pick off the reinforcements here, but the 4th base of TLO is looking under threat. Cloud is currently 186, now 192 supply versus the 152 of TLO. A decent number of drones escaping there, but the Queen actually going down, and unfortunately, this little harassment pack here is actually going to get cleaned up. So the 3rd base completely safe, natural completely safe, main base completely safe, TLO still under pressure. Cloud now moving out with additional units. Don't forget the Ravens up here, so these creep tumors can't be seen at the moment, but a scan actually would reveal both of those infestors as well, instead choosing to scan quite far forward, and he actually misses these creep tumors over here, but never mind. Cloud's attacks actually slowed quite a bit of late. He's got his tanks on Pung Pung mode at the moment, not sieging up because he wants to be within sight of this space. There are a lot of infestors out on the field for TLO, though he's got 15 of them in total, but does he have the meat in front? Don't forget he has Ultralisk on the way. 5 of them are about to pop. All TLO has to do is throw away some Zerglings, force Cloud to siege, and just make him wait a little while longer, and then he'll have those lovely Ultralisk that tank so much damage. And will hopefully be able to help him do his thing. We have got a decent number of Zerglings now popping out as well, going to try and take apart the reinforcements, but Cloud seems to be ahead of that, and it looks like TLO is looking to attack this from several angles at once. A lot of infestors coming in, but the Ultras drawing the siege tank fire, a lot of infested Terrans rather than Funkos popping out here, and it looks like the DPS from TLO might be enough to push Cloud back. Yes, it is for now, but look at that concave of Marines behind. The siege tanks have gone, but look at the rest of the army. This bio is pretty scary indeed. We're going to need some backup fungal growths in order to finish this off. Look at the stream of units popping in behind. Is TLO going to fall 2-0 here? Don't forget, Cloud is currently 1-0 up in this best of 3 series, and TLO now supply blocked at 159 out of 50. The Ultralisks have... well, 2-0 upgrades. Of course, it looks like it's 2-2 because of the extra armor those Ultralisks get, making 3 additional ones right now. That they're going to be able to tank a lot of damage, especially drawing the siege tank fire, allowing the Zerglings to basically have free reign and not suffer too much from the splash damage. But is it going to be enough? This 4th base, once again, trying to get taken. It'll have to be cancelled by TLO, and it looks like he's going to be going for a counterattack instead. He's going to try and attack the 3rd base. This 4th is not yet morphed into anything, so it can just lift, and there we go. He's going to lift it very promptly indeed. But this is a pretty well fortified position. It's going to take forever for TLO to break through. And a scan reveals that actually TLO is going for the counterattack, and Cloud appears to be prepared for it. He's actually coming back with his entire army. Look at it streaming across the map right now. Very low hit points, and no hit points on the medevacs, though, it has to be said. So Cloud is in a position, even though he's maxed out, where overstimming is a real danger, especially with infestors out. TLO looking to try and engage. Look at all this bio on such low health, but he's chasing the infestors with very few units and actually picking them off. This is fantastic play from Cloud right now. He is managing his units that could basically all die in 2 or 3 Funkos, and oh no, here come the infestors. They effectively all die, but managed to kill off a decent number of the units. Some unburrowed Ultras killing off a fair chunk as well, but Cloud still has that army available to him. It's currently 175 supply versus 150, and TLO trying to double expand because he's basically confined to 3 bases right now, and the 4th base is up for Cloud and becoming a planetary. If we take a look at the income right now, Cloud is actually ahead, and his standing army is currently larger as well, so that is a big problem for TLO. What are the upgrades looking like? We've got 4-2, i.e. 2-2 on the melee units, and we have 3-3 on the bio, but don't forget, look at how little energy these medevacs have. This is the only one that's realistically healing right now, and TLO going to try and crash into here as well, but he doesn't see the siege tanks on top. He has to move out. Cloud needs to slowly whip his tanks forward to try and stop this base from being taken. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do, but he might be able to do it without the tanks, actually, stimming a couple more units forward. And look at this, look how low this all is. The Broodlings could kill this army if he's not too careful about it. There we go. Just about killing it, stopping short. And once again, this top left base still being denied. TLO trying to make another counterattack, But so far, it just hasn't worked very well at all. There's a small band of bio units and the planetary fortress, so we should see a mass repair here, and the extra DPS from this should be very good indeed. Targeting down the planetary, but the bio army is... Oh my god, that was so close, but the planetary does actually go down. But in the meantime, Cloud is actually moving towards the third base of TLO, and this is important because this is where the most mining is being done. A lot of drones coming on. TLO pulling the drones now, and he's coming at this attack from two directions with some Zerglings as well. He will be able to clean this up by the looks of things. The Ultra's doing a lot of damage, but TLO losing yet another hatchery. His income is suffering greatly right now as Cloud mining almost twice as much. He did successfully hold off the attack though. The current worker is 68 to 52, but TLO needs somewhere to mine from. And these medevacs, of course, not going to be able to attack the top left expansion, but you can bet that this is going to be a pretty big target now for Cloud. He's continuing to get more army. He's just chilling out in front of his fourth base, remaking it into a planetary immediately. And he is just enjoying an economic advantage over TLO. TLO has had fantastic creep spread, but has been unable to hold his expansions this game so far. And in this game number 2, that's going to be very, very important because Cloud is on the verge of taking victory. Here we go, TLO moving in with a lot of Ultralists towards the fourth base. That is the planetary, and that army is very bunched up from Cloud. The Ultra's doing a lot of damage, but the DPS from the 3-3 Marine Marauders is too much. GG, and Cloud, ladies and gentlemen, beats TLO 2-0 to move into the semi-finals as the Italian Stallion in the Vasacast Invitational.